You were in the stands for that game. What do you remember?
I remember it being kind of cool and not that big a deal. And that's something I wrote about today, that it was just sort of, it was Bobby being Bobby. And I was far from the court, but this was, nobody would ever have thought that 30 years later we'd be discussing this. It was just an outburst and the game went on.
And you admit that you were one of the people cheering when Bobby Knight got ejected from this game, along with everyone else at Assembly Hall.
If you go back and watch the video and also read the accounts of it, there was great support for this. This wasn't, oh, he's gone too far this time, and oh, he can't control his temper. This was really cool. This was WWE and a basketball game all in one.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird to look back on it now, though. And Bobby Knight was suspended one game for this incident. And it wasn't even the school that suspended him. It was the Big Ten. The school didn't do anything. If this happened today, what do you think the reaction would be?
I mean, given the context, too, it wasn't as though he was this choir boy who was always this measured personality and had this outburst. I mean, this was one of many outbursts. Threw a chair mid-game across a court that could, I mean, it's, you go back and watch the video, and between the announcers chuckling and the fans yelling, Bobby, Bobby, as he disappears, it's pretty remarkable. I think today, this is probably, if it doesn't cost him his job, he's not coaching again the rest of the season.
What's interesting, though, is how you lead up to this game and the infamous chair toss. And what was happening in the college basketball world is that Indiana was on top. And Bobby Knight was a big reason for that. He was a king. He was idolized. He was like a basketball god. Well, it didn't stay that way. Do you think Bobby Knight deserves some of the blame for Indiana falling off that top perch?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good point, that this isn't just crazy Bobby Knight. I mean, 6 months earlier, 8 months earlier, this was the Olympic basketball coach for the United States. So that kind of certification precedes that, and then 2 years later, Indiana wins another NCAA title. So I think in the retelling, they say, oh, he threw the chair and that was his downfall, that was his Woody Hayes moment. Not really. He won a national title 2 years later, but I think the point I tried to make in the piece is that the culture that this created. I mean, the notion that this guy could throw a chair and that mealy-mouthed administrators would give him, they wouldn't even be the ones that wanted to suspend him. Let the conference do it. The conference gives him one game. They're joking about it on Letterman. I think the culture that this sort of was a glimpse into is what ultimately brought about his downfall, 10, 13 years later.